Hello, this is KetoLes, and this is Keto Kimber. Yes, my dog eats keto. Welcome back to another episode of KetoLes. Gonna talk to you a little bit about, well, it's about something I kind of learned after 2 years of doing this. I learned something new. You know how you learn something new? You look and read and you study and you try to figure out something. I know that the ketogenics diet lifestyle works, but I didn't really understand why or how. Okay, this little bit of information right here, and I'm gonna try to keep it really short. It's a lot to pack in there, but this is just kind of interesting. I may do some other ones on it, but basically we're gonna talk about insulin. So why do our bodies store fat? Well, our bodies do it because they love us. They want us to be able to live when there's an absence of food. The problem is that there's never an absence of food. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about insulin and why it makes us fat. All right, so I'm going to put up a graph that has a normal insulin response. Now, after 2 years of doing the keto lifestyle, this is what mine probably looks like. Haven't tested it, not positive, but they say it takes about a year to fix some of these other ones I'm going to show you. All right, so if you look at the diagram, here it is again. You see where it starts off, it raises up, and it goes back down. All right, so it's about a 3-hour time frame. Now I'm going to show you these others. All right, number 2 is going to be a high. Look how high it goes, and it goes back down. Takes a little longer to go back down, goes up a little higher. Number 3 is a kind of a weird one. It's a delayed. Here it is. All right, so it goes up and then goes up and then goes up and then goes back down slowly. And number 4 is a high fasting. Look where it starts off really high, and then it goes up and then it comes back down. And so basically a normal one is about a 3-hour turnaround time from going from fasted to fed to fasted. Okay, the other 3 or 4 or 5 hours, and this is all done by a doctor named Dr. Kratt. This is not something I came up with. All right, so you have a 3 to 5 hour difference in your insulin responses. Why is that important? All right, if you're just starting off this ketogenic lifestyle, you're probably one of the bottom 3. You're number 2, number 3, or number 4. If you was number 1, you probably wouldn't need this lifestyle. For the people that are starting off, know that you're number 2. So when there's a time when you're not losing weight, this is part of the reason here. All right, so when you have this big insulin response, well, you get it from eating high carb food. Okay, so you wake up, you eat carb loaded foods, whether it's fast food biscuits or biscuits and gravy, or French fries and gravy, or cereal, or bowls of sugar, and whatever. All right, so you eat this high carb meal, your insulin shoots up and then it comes back down. All right, so during that time, whether it's 3 hours or 5 or 6 hours, your body will not let you unlock the fat that you have stored. Okay, so the only time that you are going to unlock that fat is the time when your insulin level's down. What does this keto lifestyle have to do with this insulin? Okay, we are tricking our bodies. We are telling it that we're starving it. That's what we're telling it. We're not letting it have that big insulin response because we're keeping our carbs real low. We're keeping our proteins low to moderate, and we're keeping our fat high. All right, so it's not going to have this carb response. Now, of course, the bottom 3 graphs I showed you, the bottom one was really bad because you're already high. So if you're having a hard time losing weight on any diet, but the keto lifestyle also is going real slow, that's because you're probably number 4. And so you have to look at it this way. It's going to take time to heal that. It may take upwards to a year. Look, just stay off the scale, keep doing what you're doing, have faith in it. It will fix the insulin response, and then weight will start falling off. Nah, I ain't saying it's going to take a year. It may take a month. But they say it can be fixed within a year. Somebody smarter than me said that. So how does this affect me personally? Okay. Well, now I kind of have a little insight about how this works. Our bodies store fat to have something to sustain us when there's a lack of food. Well, we're never going to unlock that fat in our body until there's a lack of food, and that's where keto comes in. With keto, we get the benefit of actually putting something in our bellies, okay, that doesn't give us an insulin response, and therefore our bodies stay in that fat burning mode. Now, when a fat burning mode, if you put a lot of fat into it, what's going to burn that fat? But when it's done burning that fat, it's going to burn the fat that you're carrying. Okay? Now, the thing about the keto lifestyle is as you go on further and further, you find out that you have to eat less as a natural appetite suppressant. That brings you into going longer and longer periods of time in that fasted state. Now, since we're not loading up on carbs and having this big insulin response anymore, our insulin responses are not quite as bad, as long as you're not eating stuff you're not supposed to. So if you're keeping that carb count under 20, instead of having that big woo like this and taking 5 hours to do it, you're keeping that carb count low, 2 to 3 meals a day. 2's probably better. You're keeping that insulin response going like this. So instead of 3 to 6 hours, you might be 2 hours. So the longer period of time you spend without food for your body to eat, the more fat you're going to burn. Okay? That means snacking is not a good idea. Okay? Handfuls of almonds every hour is bad. Okay? If you want to lose fat, if you want to continue to lose fat, now every once in a while, yeah, I mean, okay. I ain't saying live a, deprived life or nothing, but eat you a big breakfast or don't eat breakfast at all. Try to go as long as you can in between these meals, and then try to learn your body's reaction to food. At 2 years, I still find that I overeat sometimes. I do. Now, I've gotten better. Some mornings, my fasting goes from the night before all the way to lunchtime. And then I have to be careful because I will wolf down too much food, and then I'll feel miserable. I mean, I keep under my 20 carbs, don't get me wrong. I mean, we're staying under 20 carbs a day no matter what I have. But I'll wolf down a lot of food, and then I'll feel kind of miserable. And I know now that shoving all that in me is going to have an insulin response, and therefore I'm not going to be burning fat near as long. All right. Now, here comes the bad news. Studies show that sweet flavor in your mouth can cause an insulin response. What does that mean, sweet flavor? Well, I'm not talking about sugar because we're not having sugar, or we're under 20 carbs. So what I'm talking about is diet drinks. If you're doing everything right and you're still not losing weight at a reasonable rate, what is a reasonable rate of weight loss? Well, 1/2 pound a week is reasonable. That's just pretty good. I mean, do the math on that. Sit there with a calculator and do 1/2 pound a week times 52. Do that times 2 years. That's not bad. Now, if you're 400 pounds, it's going to be faster than that. And you should weigh 165, and you're 400 pounds. Yeah, that's going to be you're going to lose a lot more than that. But if you're, I don't know, let's say you're female and you're 200 pounds and you should weigh, 140, well, that might be a little bit of a different story because it's not as much to lose. But 1/2 pound's a great goal. I'd love to be at 1/2 pound a week. Static. Even 1/4 pound a week is not bad. You have to look at the long-term effects of this diet. Now, can you lose 10 pounds in a week? Absolutely. All right. So, studies have shown that a sweet flavor in your mouth can cause an insulin response. That has to do with diet drinks. All right, so I'm guilty as charged. There's some energy drinks, things that look like little creepy crawlies on cans that are pink. Hey, I like them. What I've started doing is I try not to have them all the time. I try to cut them back. I try to have them on occasions. Try to drink more water, more coffee. I mean, all these different things. You have to look and see what you can cut out of your life and still enjoy your life. And I ain't trying to tell you to not enjoy your life. The whole reason we do this diet is to enjoy our life, to get skinnier and enjoy our life and live a longer life for our families.